how do I get the best sound when doing remote interviews since so many guests don't have microphones? And this is where I see a lot of people, they just kind of throw their arms up in the air and say, well, there's nothing I can do. The guests show up with what they have. I can't do anything. But that's not exactly true. There's a lot we can do. If someone shows up with a laptop, it's just like using a regular microphone. The same rules apply. You want to get it as close to the person's mouth as you can. That means asking them if they have some books or some boxes, maybe some games laying around they can use to raise the laptop up so it's closer to them. Bring it closer to their bodies. If they're using a cell phone, don't tell them not to just set it down on their table. Have them hold it so they're talking into the microphone that is generally on the bottom of the phone, not talking at the phone, but talk like this into it. Have them hold it a few inches away from the mouth. You're going to get much better sound quality than if it's sitting down on their table. It's all about understanding the basics of audio engineering and being able to guide them through what they're using and getting the best out of it. If someone's using headphones, earbuds, more specifically, that have those really thin cables that go all over the place, especially for someone who's really animated, you want to have them hold the cable in their hands just an inch away from their body. That way they can move all they want. You're not getting that mic rustle that gets picked up every time that cable rubs against their clothing. I mean, there's so many little things we can do. But the other thing is, if you want the best quality, don't have guests on that don't have the right equipment. You don't have to have everybody on your show. If quality is that important to you, you need to vet your guests and say, if you want to be on my show, you need to have an actual microphone and headphones.
There is an additional option there, though. For the person with a potentially endless budget and time, you could purchase and send your guests microphones that you would prefer that they have. And that has been an option for people I've seen, and with clients too, actually, in the past. Like, spend $100 per guest for a Samson, send it through to them, and you might be better off than them putting on the old AirPods. Not a common option, though, especially for the podcaster who isn't yet making money from their show. But just a thing to consider. Like, we don't just have to move backwards. You could also purchase something for them.
Well, there's also a variation of that where instead of shipping a brand new mic to each guest, maybe you buy 3 or 4 different mics and you just ship them out to the guest, include a return label. That way all they have to do is box it back up, drop it off at FedEx, UPS, whoever your shipper of choice is, and that makes it easier for them to return it. You do have to accept that there's always the risk that the mic doesn't get returned to you. So you have to go into it understanding that risk. But yeah, that's one way you can do it and ensure that everybody has the equipment you want them to use. With some of the agencies, I know they can do this. One of the shows I worked with, they would send out a mic and really cheap earbuds just for monitoring. The guests could keep the earbuds, but they were asked to return the mic. So the overall thing we're trying to say is these things aren't completely out of your control. There's ways we can work with our guests to get the best quality with whatever they're using, or by providing stuff to give them higher quality equipment if they don't have it.
There is also, just quickly to say, like a comfort level thing that people can sometimes experience when it gets to the stage of trying to take people through what you've been explaining for the last little while as well. Like it takes simple audio engineering, but you've potentially got someone that you're about to talk to for the next hour and you're telling them how terrible they sound and all the different things that they could be doing that you'll be troubleshooting with them in order to optimize their sound for them. I know I take this for granted as someone who worked in tech support, like both in person and remotely, for probably, let's just say, my entire life. Like both my parents were teachers when I was young. I've done it for a long time. Did do it as a career as well. And unless you can get into that space, it's sometimes uncomfortable to ask someone to, hey, just, move that microphone or move the laptop just a little bit closer. It feels like you're trying to make them more uncomfortable so that you can get a better signal. But at the end of the day, you'll thank yourself afterwards if you go through a little bit of effort with them just to make sure that they sound good. And if what it saves is every couple of minutes, there's like a little rustle against the cable of the microphone because they have a necklace with big wooden balls on it and they keep moving from left to right and it rubs just against the microphone the wrong way. If you don't have to deal with that, like that's a well-being issue, I think. At the other side of it, you should feel okay being the audio expert and ask your guests the optimizing questions. It's okay to do.